I are getting ready for an agility session. But first, I want to make sure that I always warm my dog up properly for agility. Not only is warming up great for our dog's longevity because we're reducing their risk of injury, but warming up also creates a competitive advantage by allowing your dog to go just a little bit faster on course. So first, we started with a 10-minute walk. We're walking off leash, so Flash got to do a few light sprints in there too, but I'm not necessarily encouraging her to run full out when we're doing our warm-up walk. The next thing I'm going to do is a variety of tricks to keep warming up her body and asking her to move in dynamic directions. So the first thing we're going to do is ask Flash to rotate around me, which creates a shuffle motion with her back feet. We're looking for her to be slow and in control of these movements, not just flinging her body one way or another. So she's going to come to my side in a heel position, and as I rotate, she should stay in that heel position. Good. And then we'll do the other side. The next drill we're going to go to is a weave between the leg, which creates some rotation in the back and very closely mimics some moves we'll see on course, like bending to get into the weave pulls or bending over a jump for a turn. So I can do leg weaving one of two ways. I can do a figure 8 between my legs, or I can do a walking leg weave. So first, I'll show you the weave between the legs as a figure 8. Good. Again, looking to go slow if possible. So we can also do a leg weave as we walk forward if we have the space available to us. In addition to a 10-minute walk and our warm-up tricks, I also include active stretching into every warm-up we do before agility. Active stretching is great because it's really honing in on what makes mobility better, which means my dog has a better range of motion through their shoulder, through their hip, which improves performance and reduces their risk of injury. An important part of active stretching is that I'm not forcing my dog's body into an uncomfortable position. I'm not trying to increase flexibility, which actually reduces strength and power in the short term. I'm trying to warm up the muscles and draw blood flow to the parts of the body that we're asking the dog to use on course. So it's important that my dog only goes to a position that is comfortable for them. So you won't see me forcing Flash into any positions. I'm simply luring her with a cookie into positions that will help warm her up for this. So the first one is just an extension of the back. So I have my hand under her rear end, not holding her in place, but just helping her anchor herself and give her something to resist against. Should she want to move out of the stretch, she'll just step over my hand. I don't force her to stay there. I'm going to take my cookie and lure her nose straight out. Good. Very nice. She should get lower and nice and long. Good. We'll do one more of those. Very nice. You'll notice that as we repeat the stretches, the dog will be able to go a little bit farther. Now Flash is very young and very mobile still. So if your dog can't go as low or as long as Flash can, don't worry. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily injured. They just have a different level of mobility and flexibility. The next active stretch that we're going to work Flash through has 4 different reward points because we're working rotation of the torso, back to the shoulder, and then back to the hip. So I'll show you 2 viewpoints. Here's from the front. I'm going to take her nose and bring it back to the shoulder, asking her to stretch this far side of her neck into her shoulder and chest. Then I'm going to take the cookie back to her hip, asking her to rotate her full body around to her tail. Then we'll repeat the other side. So I'll show you a side view. Here, nose to shoulder. We're going to stay there for a second, let her chew. Ooh, she got the whole thing. Chew her cookie, and then bring her back to the hip, asking her to rotate even farther. Good. Good. And then we're going to do the neck forward underneath the front feet as well. Good, so nose to the ground. Excellent. And that's active stretch number 2. Our last active stretch is going to be lying extensions. So Flashin is in a down stay, and I make sure that her back feet are tucked in underneath her before asking her to do this. Because what we're looking for is rotation in the hips forward. They shouldn't move their feet position, they should be rocking forward in those hips, which is creating more mobility, which improves all sorts of health benefits down the line, as you can imagine. So I'm gonna take my cookie and draw her nose forward just a bit, and then let her come back. I'm not holding her in extension, we're just creating this gentle rocking motion. And now Flash is all warmed up for some agility training.